to. You do not have to, though. So to save bandwidth, you also are welcome to turn your video off. Completely your call. This is going to be recording, so just to let you know, with this being recorded, so if you don't want to be recorded on video as well, you might want your camera off. And then last thing, if at any point you have any questions, any concerns, have any comments, you are welcome to email me or call me directly after this event, preferably. My email and phone numbers are on the main event that was sent out for you all to get this link. So thank you so much. And we are now going to turn it over to Nicole. Go ahead, Nicole.
Thanks, Nate. And thanks for everything you've done to put together this terrific event. Well, welcome. And we're just so glad you're with us tonight. I'm Nicole Cyrak-Irwin. I'm the regional CEO for the great region of Idaho, Montana, and East Oregon. And tonight we're here to applaud you, our amazing volunteers, everyone who is here. We want to make sure you understand how much we appreciate the work you do in our communities each and every day. You're extraordinary people who say yes to very, very challenging things. You know, when everyone is evacuating, we're running in, and you're part of that. You're getting up in the middle of the night to meet someone you never met and help them out. And you do all of that with a heart of service. So we just are so grateful to you. You know, some of our work makes headlines. We are in the news for the Montana floods this year and Hurricane Ian in Florida, but a lot of our work doesn't. A lot of our work is being done in the middle of the night, and you're just so many of our unsung heroes, and you do it all. All of your work is of great importance. And some of the things that you say yes to are braving winter roads to develop life-saving blood to our hospitals. You say yes to leaving the warmth of your beds in the wee hours of the night to respond to a disaster or open a shelter. You say yes to comfort grieving families and possibly on the worst day of their life. You are there to provide services to our military families and so much more. So I know the last few years haven't been easy, and we've really bonded together to do a lot of things, but time and time again, you all rise to the challenge. You show patience and perseverance along the way. So sit back tonight and relax. Enjoy the recognition that we are providing tonight. And whether you've been with us for 10 months or 10 years, or I think 45 years, we may be talking about tonight, just please feel a part of the Red Cross mission. And we hope that you'll walk away with three things. That you will know that we need you, we value you, and we thank you. So I'll turn it back over to Nate and hope you enjoy the show.
All right, everyone, I promised prizes, and to kick us off, I have invited one of my friendliest friends, coworkers, counterparts, who I love to work with, Courtney.
Good evening, everybody. Like Nate said, and thank you for the sweet introduction, Nate. My name is Courtney Wilson. I'm the executive admin in our area, and I am so excited that I get the honor and the privilege of giving out some free stuff. So we have put in the names, like Nate said before, everybody who's here has been put in, will be randomly drawn. And I have 5 USB flash drives to give out. And virtual drum roll, those people are Liam Elms, Deb Gay, Joe Scott, and David Duke. Congratulations. And
awesome.
That, Nate, and we're throwing it to Diane, I believe.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Diane Wright. I'm the director for the Montana chapter, and I'd like to introduce you to the most fabulous board of directors that I have ever worked with, and that's a long time. First, let me just say that this board, for the second year in a row, pulled off an amazing blood drive. I just got back to Great Falls from traveling from Missoula because this board organized a fabulous blood drive. One board member stayed the whole time to check people in, to make sure they had their snacks, and to make sure they were comfortable and welcomed. They all gave blood. It was an incredible show of support from this amazing and talented group of Montanans. First off, Mike Augustine with D.A. Davidson, he's in Bozeman. Jennifer Brightbaugh, she's in Butte. Denise Burke, our newest board member, she's here in Great Falls. Beth Hawk is with Providence St. Pat's in Missoula. Todd Neighbor, U.S. Bank in Great Falls. Jamie Peterson, Office of Public Instruction of Helena. David Roberts owns his own engineering firm in Missoula. Colonel Susone, she is with Malmstrom Air Force Base. Craig Stahlberg is our board chair. You'll meet him a little bit later on tonight. Stephen Walter is in Kalispell, and then Tom Wozniak with First Interstate Bank, and Tom Wozniak is with Pentler Wealth Management, his own financial firm. So just an amazing group of people, and I just applaud them and thank them so much for their work. Hope all of you get to meet them someday soon.
Thank you, Diane, and thanks for all the work that you do as well. We really appreciate you out in Executive Director of Montana, and thanks to the Montana Board. And I have the wonderful pleasure of introducing you to the Idaho Board of Directors, also cover East Oregon. And this is a group of people, like Diane mentioned, that you just kind of pinch yourself. How'd you get so lucky to work with this number of people that are so generous with their networks and their time and their talent? These folks really roll up their sleeves and do anything that's asked of them. They've pledged over $60,000 to this year, and they've influenced over $100,000 this year. They help us with volunteer recruitment. They help us optimize blood drives. They install smoke alarms. They share their networks, and we just couldn't be more grateful to our board of directors. So let me introduce you to Nathan Alford out of Lewiston. We have Shelley Amundsen out of Gooding, Emily Baker, who's here in Boise. Angie Castillo is based in Napa. Vanessa Fry is in Boise, and Tag Donahue is in Boise. We have Roy Aguirre in Boise and Nick Harris in Boise. Our board chair is Dr. Barton Hill, and you will hear from him later tonight. And who was he named after, you ask? Clara Barton comes from a lifelong legacy of nurses. And so I love that about our board chair. Amy Hawley is based in Boise, and Asayoko Kawahara is also based in Boise. And we have another slide, I think, that continues our group here. Tony Lima is out of Idaho Falls, Andy Marshall in Caldwell. Melinda Merrill is Meridian based, and Mike McKiddish is based out of Eagle. Colonel Cole Packwood out of Boise, and Craig Shirley out of Boise. And then we have Hillary Cinnamon out of Haley. Philip Thompson, who's in Boise, Pat Waller, who is in that Pullman, Lewiston area, and Uncle Dane Watkins, who is out of Idaho Falls. So please join me in just sending a lot of love to our great Idaho and East Oregon board members. And I'm going to turn it over to Valerie.
Thank you. And thank you to each one of our board members. Now we're going to jump right into celebrating celebrating and acknowledging the years of service milestones that our incredible team, including many of you, have achieved. We're going to start with 1 years of service acknowledgement, and then we're going to move from there to 5, 10, 15 years and beyond. And tonight we are even celebrating a team member that has achieved 50 years of service with the Red Cross. That is amazing. So join me in thanking each round of acknowledgements as we move through these names and these slides. And if you aren't familiar with this, you can, if you look at the top of your screen, you'll see a button that says reactions. You can click that and you should be able to choose from a heart or applause or other options there as well. So if you feel comfortable doing that and are interested, feel free to applaud along, and we will get started. Throughout the evening, we're also going to be doing additional giveaways. And Nate, we'll turn it back to you for our next prize drawing.
Valerie, I gotta tell you, my favorite thing to do is be able to do some drawings for prizes. It brings a lot of happiness to my heart. And the 3 people that we got drawn, and by the way, we're doing a randomizer. So if you see me fumbling at all, it's because I'm trying to multitask with the multiple windows I have going on my computer screen. So the randomizer, we got Diane Brush for a water bottle, Libby Langston, and James Ranger. So congratulations. Make sure you drink your water, stay hydrated, And now I gotta tell you, we have one of our best communications directors across the nation, Matt. I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Thank you, Nate. So it's pretty hard to believe that another year has already come to a close, but it's even harder to believe everything we were able to accomplish in a single year, thanks to you, all of our amazing volunteers. Together, you logged more than 70,000 hours to deliver help and hope in communities across our 3 states. We added 320 new volunteers to our team and said goodbye to some dear friends and colleagues in the past year. Our disaster teams gave food, shelter, and comfort to 1,300 people following emergencies, and that included our many months long response to historic flooding in Montana, which is our first level 4 disaster response in over a decade. 45 of you headed out the door to help those impacted by Hurricane Ian in Florida, the most volunteers we have deployed to a single disaster outside our region in recent memory. Our service to the Armed Forces team supported 3,400 military families and took part in its largest yellow ribbon event ever. They also delivered much needed items like sweatpants and socks to local VAs to help our homeless vets, and our Restoring Family Links volunteers are reconnecting families separated by war and disaster. Blood donors, including many of you out there, raised their hands, rolled up their sleeves, and donated an incredible 115,000 units of life-saving blood. 115,000 units of life-saving blood. That's potentially 345,000 lives saved. Our blood donor ambassadors welcomed these donors to drives and made sure they had a great experience. And our transportation specialists made sure all that blood got to where it needed to go on time and safely. We unveiled a new blood donor center in Bozeman with new facilities in Napa and Twin Falls on the way. You all helped us install free smoke alarms everywhere from Phillipsburg to Parma, making more than 180 homes safer and including in our tribal communities. You know, that's just the tip of the iceberg of what we were able to accomplish in the past year because of you. That doesn't mention all the hugs, the handshakes, the stories, and the smiles along the way. So tonight, we would like to congratulate all of you who just reached your 1-year milestone with us. 1 year of service is something to be proud of, and hopefully just the start of a bigger Red Cross journey. We are honored to be the recipients of your time, your talent, and your treasure, and look forward to teaming up for years to come. So thank you again for choosing us. And with that, and now I'd like to turn it over to Idaho Board Chair, Dr. Bart Hill.
Well, thank you very much. What a privilege for me to be able to help recognize our volunteers who have given 5 years of service. As the Eastern Idaho and the Greater, or as the Eastern Oregon and the Greater Idaho Board Chair, I'm a volunteer much like you. Whether we all do it to give back or to pay it forward, or because it's an opportunity for us to make a meaningful difference in the communities we serve, or because our parents or we had mentors that showed us the way. All of us have our reason to be a volunteer. And I think it's important for us to reflect on that and to make it special, and to know that we are making a difference in improving each of our communities. Please join me in appreciating all of these people on this slide who have given 5 years of volunteer service to the American Red Cross. Together, we are making a meaningful difference. Thank you very much.
All right, next up, we actually have our Montana Board Chair. Diane, if you'd like to introduce him, go ahead again.
Well, everybody, you are going to love Craig Stahlberg. Probably not as much as I do, because Craig has done it all. We first recruited Craig to be board chair because he and his son volunteered to install smoke alarms in Missoula. Gosh, I think that may have been 7, 8 years ago. And whatever I ask Craig to do, he does what I ask and says, and how about this? So Craig, we are so grateful for your service, and now you get to recognize some other volunteers. So I'll turn it over to you, Craig.
Well, thank you, Diane. Reflecting over a decade of service, our numbers of volunteers have grown dramatically over the past 10 years. Last year, over 1,000 volunteers contributed more than 70,000 volunteer hours. We are raising more revenue year over year to support our mission. We navigated our way through a challenging pandemic and remained ready to deliver shelter, food, comfort, and hope during disasters. Through a global pandemic and national blood shortage, we adapted new ways of collecting and distributing life-saving blood and convalescent plasma. Despite these challenges, and with the help from all of you, our volunteers and donors, we made it through, learned a lot, and remain more resilient than ever. 10 years of service with one organization is a big accomplishment. Thank you for your service to the American Red Cross. And I would like to name the individuals provided: Bev McDougall, Brian Perrin, Cheryl James, Dave Tisch, Jay Schomer, Kim Monson, Lori Hamilton, Vicki Johns, Aaron Mitchell, Diana Oxner, Ginger Roll, and Joe Scott. Thank you again for your contributions to the American Red Cross.
Courtney, I think you know what time it is.
Oh my gosh, Nate, it's my favorite time. It's time for free stuff. All right, so this time we're going to be giving away some messenger bags. Though they are not the exact bags that you see, they are equally awesome. And Nate has already sent me the names, so without further ado, Joan Mainwaring, Sue Hawthorne, Eli Olson, and Danny Rain. Congratulations. And I do believe it's right back to Diane.
Thank you, Courtney.
You're welcome.
So I get the pleasure of recognizing 3 individuals who have contributed 15 years of their life. They chose Red Cross over any other organization to dedicate their time, their talents, and we can't say enough about these 3 individuals. I bet many of you have probably met Lou Savick. Lou does it all. I cannot believe one human being can do as much as Lou does. He's a media team volunteer. He's a spokesperson for Red Cross. He's a disaster team volunteer up in the Flathead. He's a coordinator. He's a supervisor. He's probably taken all training. He's probably done training. So, and I think what tops it all is he's able to navigate and drive the IRV. That is impressive. So Lou's trained many people how to set up shelters. And Lou, we cannot thank you enough for what you've given to Red Cross over the past 15 years. Julie Broadhead and William Renders, they're both from Sidney, Montana. You all know where Sidney, Montana is. We could not do what we do. We service all 56 counties and 8 tribal nations in Montana, and we could not do what we do in the far reaches of eastern Montana if it were not for volunteers like Julie and William, who serve on the disaster action team. They're ready to respond at a moment's notice in the middle of the night when someone is probably at their worst point of their life. They are there to help those families and individuals recover. So thank you to Lou, Julie, and William for all that you've done for Red Cross.
And I'm up next, I believe. I have the great honor of honoring 20 years of service. And just take a minute and think about, what were you doing 20 years ago, right? What was the price of gasoline? Where were you living? What was important to you? 20 years is just a remarkable amount of time to dedicate to the Red Cross. And these individuals have also seen quite a bit of changes in the organization. So we are so grateful. Let me introduce you to them. So Ann Harris, she helped us establish our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. She's a trauma therapist and has done a lot of work with our disaster mental health services. She's a training instructor, deployed several times. She's helped set up shelters and serves on the disaster action team. Her daughter, Erin Bray, is also involved with the Red Cross and international humanitarian law. And so we're just very grateful to Ann and all her years of service. She lives in Missoula, Montana. David Cohen is in Baker. He is a long-term disaster action team member, does some home fire preparedness and disaster engagement lead for Northeast Oregon. He's deployed several times, including to the Pendleton floods, and participated in the Cascadia Rising earthquake disaster drills. He helps deliver supplies. He does shelter surveys. Thank you, David, for all you do for us. And last but not least, Mindy. Mindy is out of Baker as well and serves on the disaster action team. She did at least 10 deployments last year, and I know that there's more that I didn't even get to count up. And we just couldn't do what we do in Eastern Oregon without Mindy and David. So we're very thankful for them, and they've been with us for a long time and very good friends of ours. So thank you to all three of you for 20 years of service. And I'm going to turn it over to Scott and Anthony.
Perfect. I get the privilege of co-presenting with Anthony on Erin Bray, who you just heard Nicole mention a little bit. Erin Bray is a volunteer that has been on for 25 years now, which is truly incredible. And she gets to split her time between two amazing lines of service with DCS and SAF. And so I'll talk a little bit about her time in DCS. She is deployed to multiple DROs and staffing, helping make sure we are staffed up to be able to help those in need and truly helping the helpers, which is awesome to see. She is currently a DAT supervisor. Looking at her profile, going through 25 years, we only have kind of the recent history on this, but over 50 trainings she has completed in our new system. She's experienced in multiple regional leadership roles, including our regional training lead in the past and regional deployment lead. She has spent over a decade as a DCS training instructor to helping make sure our teams are equipped for what they have coming up. And so fantastic work in DCS, but wait, that's not all. Turning it over to Anthony for more.
Thanks, Scott. Well, longtime listener, first-time caller. I'm Anthony. I come from Idaho and Montana. I'm so happy to be back, and thanks for having me. I get the pleasure of introducing Erin in a different context. I am the Service Armed Forces International Services Division Director for North Central Division. So that's North Central Division is 9 states, and it spans about roughly 483,000 miles. So square miles. So it's pretty big. It's the middle of America. And so Erin Bray is my International Humanitarian Law Division Volunteer Partner. It's a pretty big title, but what that means is Erin is my partner in all things international humanitarian law. So I just wanted to take a quick moment and recognize Erin, and I'm going to say a couple statistics about what Erin has done over the past couple years. She has worked with 6 teams in 6 different regions in these 9 states, completing over 207 international humanitarian law events, and with 3,940 participants over 2 years. So, I mean, just amazing work. I look towards Erin to provide counsel, to provide guidance and strategic programming. So I couldn't do it without Erin. And as a confession, I did take Erin from the region. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And I'm so happy that Erin is in both groups. So great. Thank you, Erin.
Now, I mean, after such an amazing feat like that Erin did, why not do a giveaway, right? What are we doing? What are we doing? So this giveaway is actually very special to my heart. I always joke with people that the Red Cross is a family affair. It is something that we get involved in. These are actually, we're giving out 3 of our cutting boards. These are exclusive to our region, specialty made by my own father. So my dad actually loves the work that all of our volunteers do and the work that we are able to accomplish as a Red Cross. So he made these cutting boards for us to support our region, which I think is really awesome. The winners of these cutting boards, we have Cindy Holder, congratulations, Sherry Dawn Carruthers, and Teresa Browning. So congratulations, you three. I will be getting you your cutting board, and I hope you enjoy them as much as this picture shows them. By the way, I need to do a quick shout out. Diane, thanks for the picture. I could not find a picture and I was like trying to stress out and I got a picture. So this picture actually was Diane and her picture that she got us. So thank you all so much. And next up, hold on, I have to think who's up next. I think it is Heather. Heather, yeah, no, yeah, Heather. Heather, you're up next. So I'll turn it over to Heather. Go ahead.
Hey everyone, I'm so happy to recognize a longtime blood donor ambassador that's been with us, celebrating 30 years as a volunteer with the Red Cross and joining the blood donor ambassador position in 2019. Jim Stimpf, excuse me if I pronounce that wrong in the last part, has been a great volunteer with us lately. Participating in 2 to 3 mobile drives a month in Ada County. So happy to have them on board and happy to have their support and regular commitment to us. Jim is also a regular participant in our blood donor ambassador meetings monthly, and we hear from him regularly, which is always just so amazing to have a part of, is for people to participate in that. So thank you, Jim, for your 30 years, and we're just so happy to have you as part of the team.
And also, go ahead, Eric.
Alrighty, Jim, I also want to recognize you. My name is Eric. I am in charge of the biomedical team. And so on behalf of my team, I want to thank you for your work since September 1st, 1992, supporting blood drives and our ability to collect blood. My team could not do their job without you. You're essential to the work to make sure that we have hospitals with the blood on the shelf for those in need. So on behalf of all of my team, Jim, you are essential to us. You're essential to the community, and thank you for 30 years. Okay, and so on to Scott.
All right.
We get to do this one together, Scott.
Yes, absolutely. Go for it, Nicole.
Okay. Danny Rain. What to say about Danny Rain? So Danny, I'm going to get emotional. So Danny and Linda were probably one of the 2 of the first volunteers I met 10 years ago when I started with Red Cross. And I can't thank them enough for just being so wonderfully patient with me and great teachers, really walked me through how everything works, showed what you can do for your clients. I mean, just that wraparound service. Not only would they be the first to respond, but they kept a ton of resources. They knew that you could go to the Salvation Army on Wednesday afternoon, no questions asked, and be able to get $100 worth of clothing. I mean, they just really did everything possible to wrap around families. And I think back to 1977. What were you doing in 1977? Some of us weren't born. I was watching Charlie Angels, I think. And, it's just amazing to think about that decade of services. So Disaster Action Team is really, I think, where we've seen most of Danny's work, but he also has done, I don't even know how many shelters he's opened up. We didn't keep records, or we don't have those records, so we can't even count how many he's done. And then I know he also has a heart for first aid training, and was a first aid trainer for a number of years, and had worked as a first responder in dispatch and other things. And so just have seen firsthand what people need in times of disaster, and he knows how to fill that need. So thank you, Danny and Linda and the Rain family, for everything that you've done. Scott, I'll turn it to you.
Perfect. And just to add a couple of things to that, thank you so much, Nicole, for being able to share about your experience with Danny. Truly incredible. When I got to look in a little bit to the work that Danny did and hear some stories about the work that he's done, and bouncing around a little bit as well, really kind of being a face for the Red Cross Also, as well as the health and safety as a volunteer instructor, also assisted with special events for a while and helping out and just kind of making sure that, as I like to call it, flying the Red Cross banner and just making sure that he's a good representation of our brand. And I feel like anybody that came in contact with Danny was probably more likely to be a Red Cross volunteer afterwards, just because of what Danny was able to bring. On top of what Nicole said, a lot of the stuff in the past is hard to kind of get some of the history on. I haven't even been committed to the earth for 45 years. And so truly kind of crazy for me to think at how long that is. Even in our recent records, we're able to see that he's deployed to support our local wildfires back in 2015. He also, since completing all the training, has been has completed over 50 trainings since 2014 when the system was updated. And the thing that's crazy is that all of this leads into the number of lives that he's affected during the time. And that's truly incredible. And I wish there was a way for us to track the number of lives, but it is well into the hundreds and probably approaching the thousands between all the work that he's done. And so thank you so much. And I think I am turning it over to Nate next.
All right, excellent. This one, I am gonna have Eric present, but I do have to just say, wow, congratulations, wow, amazing. So I'm going to leave it at that, and Eric, go ahead.
All right, so very excited to recognize Patrick Terry for 50 years of service with the American Red Cross. I have not been on this earth 50 years. I hope to be. I can't even imagine. I'm humbled by just the length of your service, and all. I can't even imagine all the contributions you have given to your community and to the American Red Cross, and our ability to make our mission delivery is clearly been impacted by you. And so thank you for your service. I know that you are a transportation specialist. That is literally life-saving volunteerism. And you know, it's the call of delivering blood to a hospital. It could be a routine delivery. It could be an emergency stat delivery. Those are all life-saving services that we can't be thankful enough for you to do for us. The hospitals thank you. I thank you. And the Red Cross thanks you. So thank you very much, Patrick. I'm just humbled by your commitment to our mission. Thank you. And I'm going to also allow Diane the opportunity to thank you as well. Diane.
Hello, Patrick. I see you in the upper right corner of my screen, and I admire you so much. You are a gentle soul. I've met you a few times at some of our events. You are an incredible human being. You've got some great stories that you've shared with us. You are truly golden. This is your 50 years, and you are a golden volunteer for us, volunteering since 1972. My goodness. I liked some of the stories that you told at our recent event that we held in Great Falls about how you first became involved with Red Cross. I also admire your willingness to brave these icy roads when you pick up blood from one location and bring it back to Great Falls for testing. You brave the roads, you brave the deer, you do it all for us. And we just couldn't do what we do without you and what you've done. And Patrick is also a financial donor. He believes in Red Cross so much that he gives not only of his time, but of his personal treasure to support the work that we do. So Patrick, thank you so much. And you don't live far from me. I hope to see you in the hood soon.
Courtney, are you out there? Courtney, can you hear me?
I was having a hard time there for a second, Nate, but I am back. And guess what I am back with?
What is it? What is it?
Another giveaway. And this time it's hats. So now we're going to give away 5 of these awesome American Red Cross hats that everybody wants to be seen in public wearing because they're amazing. And I already have the lucky 5. So again, virtual drum roll, here we go. Mike Gumbert, Pat Terry, Tony Taylor, Ann Terracon, and Dallas Erickson. You all are new happy owners of one of these amazing hats. And I believe it's right back to you, Nate.
It is. Thank you so much. I actually wear and tear my Red Cross hats. They are probably one of my most prized possessions. So I want to just take a little bit of time. Over the year 2022, we were working on understanding COVID and meeting the needs and wants of our volunteers. We were able to adventure out and do some volunteer in-person events. I was able to meet people for the first time in person, which wasn't happening, and it had been quite a while meeting people in person, and I just thought it was great. We also were able to continue to train volunteers in free CPR courses, of course, to help when moments matter, as well as we took time to listen to our teams and see what the different needs were, hear ways that we could continue to meet those needs and help strengthen our region. And as volunteers, you were able to face some challenges and changes that not only were you able to just excel and exceed at, but you became the leaders of, not just here for locally, but for nationally. We still have lots of people that they're like, wait, your volunteers do that? And we have to let them know, like, yeah, that's what our volunteers accomplish. So as we continue into the upcoming year 2023, I wanted to continue this recognition as we go forward. So we're going to continue doing more in-person events and meetings. Again, if any of you have wood paneling, wood desks, or anything, knock on wood that nothing happens, that would change. But we're going to continue those in-person events. Also, with doing those in-person events, our volunteer appreciation events are planned and scheduled for April. So keep an eye on your calendars. You should be receiving some email invites coming up here soon, which will be exciting. During those events, I also will be offering CPR classes as well for, again, each of those event locations for current active volunteers. So we're going to be continuing that. With our roundtables, again, it was a great opportunity for volunteers and staff alike. So we're going to be planning more of those events as well for teams across our region to attend. Not only that, but we're also going to find new ways of showing appreciation for volunteers that give hours and hours of their time. This year, we actually have an exclusive region t-shirt seen right there on the slide. That is the back of the t-shirt. This is going to be provided and given to volunteers who have volunteered a minimum of 150 hours. So we're really excited that we have that available. As we have prizes, drawings, swag items, catch up with friends, different items to, again, engage and work with our volunteers, we know that some volunteers, they don't always like to receive those items. However, we want to remind everyone, these are just small tokens of the appreciation and ways that we're able to give back to you for the work and the things that you're able to do for the entire region, for our communities, and for our nation. So keep an eye on your mailbox because something is going to be coming to you soon. There is a hint on what that is, and I'm not going to point it out to actually have you know what it is. But as, of course, different plans and ideas come up, we're going to continue to grow and try to do more. We want to ensure that volunteers feel supported and appreciated and cared for because you are the Red Cross in our region, and we want to thank you for that. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it back over for some amazing awards back to Valerie. And thank you again for all the work you guys do. Valerie.
Thank you, Nate. It is my honor to recognize 2 volunteers that have been nominated by the region for the Humanitarian Services Presidential Award for Excellence. This award is presented to individuals or groups of American Red Cross employees or volunteers who demonstrate exceptional performance or service in support of the American Red Cross delivering on its multifaceted mission. This year, the region has nominated Vicki Johns and Kathy Melander for this award. And Vicki is an incredible leader in disaster cycle services and service to the armed forces. Vicki served in many ways in the last year, including leadership in the recovery efforts with the Yellowstone summer flooding. Kathy also is an incredible leader and has served in many ways, including serving as leadership in the duty officer program and supporting and leading the information and planning unit on that same flood response. So just wanted to take a second to acknowledge the incredible service and commitment towards our mission and our communities from Vicki and Kathy, and also to let both of you know you will be receiving nomination certificates in the mail in the near future. Thank you both so very much. It is also my privilege to share our this year's award winners for the President's Council on Service and Civic Participation. In 2003, this award was founded by the President's in 2003, this award was created to recognize the important role that volunteers play in America's strength and national identity. And this award honors individuals whose service impacts communities in every corner of the nation and inspires those around them to take action and serve as well. And these awards have continued under each presidential administration since this was founded in 2003. These volunteers are honored because they use their time and talents to solve some of the toughest challenges facing our nation. Recipients must have 4,000 documented hours over a lifetime. And as a qualifying organization, we nominate our volunteers that have achieved 4,000 years of service, 4,000 hours of service on behalf of the American Red Cross. On behalf of the President's Council this year, we would like to honor and applaud these special volunteers. These three volunteers, I will share a little bit about each of them, including the hours that they have so far contributed towards our mission, and then turn it over to them. Vicki Johns, who I just mentioned, has served and logged over 4,000 hours towards the mission of the American Red Cross. Scott Fairfield has served and logged over 4,860 hours towards the mission of the Red Cross, and Teresa Browning has served over 5,868 hours towards our mission and to everyone that is touched by our mission each year. We asked each of these individuals if they would like to share anything about this accomplishment, and Scott, I will start with you.
Well, thank you very much. I am humbled by this distinguished award. After retiring from a 35-year career in oil and gas, my desire was to assist others post-disasters with care and compassion. American Red Cross has been a perfect organization to fulfill the shared vision and goals these past 5 years. I cannot explain the personal satisfaction you receive when you meet a family face-to-face or virtually who just lost their home and or everything from a fire, floods, or other natural disasters. Restoring hope and providing a listening ear, recovery planning, and reunification of missing people. I look forward to continuing to provide heartfelt assistance to people during some of their darkest times. Thank you again for this great honor.
You are very welcome, Scott. Thank you. Teresa?
Another fun fact about me is I hate talking in front of anybody. I'll just make this very quick. I would just like to say that I could not have done all of this without my team, Kathy Mellinger, and the rest of the duty officers. I serve the Red Cross because they help everybody. They are not selective about who they help in their time of need. So that makes it very easy for me. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again, and congratulations, Vicki, Scott, and Teresa. Nate, I'll turn it back to you.
I gotta say, I do on occasions get teary-eyed, and when talking about the amazing work our volunteers do, I kind of have to hold back the tears because I do on occasions. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna do the grand prize. We're jumping in with fun. Again, thank you all for all the amazing work you do. If I was able to give a grand prize to every single one of you, I would. Unfortunately, I personally cannot do that. But I do have 2 of our vests that are available, and I'm going to do our drum roll drawing, please. The first winner of a Red Cross vest that will be sent to you is going to be, drumroll please, Jack Smith. Congratulations on your Red Cross vest. And second drum roll, we got for our second vest, Jim Nouse. And I think I probably said your last name wrong because on occasions I do. But Jim, congratulations, and Jack, congratulations. Thank you all again. At the end of this, we're going to be playing a video that was put together by Matt, our communications director. But before then, I want to have Nicole give us a final word before we close out the meeting. Go ahead, Nicole.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for being with us tonight. And I kind of think about the Mr. Rogers quote, and he would say, if there's a disaster, if there's chaos, look for the helpers. And so those are you. Those are you. That's you. You are the helpers. You are the people that the faces that our communities look to on their darkest days. And I just thank you for this work. Congratulations to all of you for that won those awards. Thank you for your service. And I want you to remember that we need you and we value you and we thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. Thank you all again. Thank you for joining us. Have a safe and good evening. And I will hopefully catch you guys here in April. Hopefully I'll see all of you then. So thank you again. Have a good evening, guys.
Happy New Year.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night.
Thank you, Nate.
Yeah. Hey, thank you all. It takes a village. So thank you for joining and participating and being a part of it.
Well, you're great. You help keep us organized, and more than 80 people joined us. So that's just fantastic.
Which is great. Yeah. I was like, oh, 80. This is good. This is really good.
Yeah, well done. Well run. Good job. Great enthusiasm.
Thanks. Thank you.
Great video.
Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.